Well, welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Miami Beach, of all places. We're about to head up Ocean Drive and we're in the back of a 1960 Ford Sunliner, and joining me is McLain Ward, something a little bit different for us.
Oh, this is great, Stephen. Beautiful weather, beautiful city, and quite a fancy vehicle we're in.
Now, two-time Olympic gold medalist, you started off the year last year winning in Antwerp, the first of the Longines Global Champions Tour, and in the last few weeks you've picked up some big prize money as well.
We have. We've had a good month coming into April here to start off the Global Champions Tour. Excited to have a big event here in the United States in a great city like Miami, and hoping for a strong finish this weekend.
Well, all the way through the week we're seeing the shots of the showground down there. I mean, that is something else, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, the imagination it took to build this arena right on the surf took a lot of guts, actually. But that's great, and I think that's what GCT is known for. Their sponsors and everybody involved really pushes the envelope to put on great and entertaining events.
I mean, you mentioned sponsors there. You yourself have worked with the likes of Hunter Harrison a lot now with the HH prefix on many of the horses. You've had a long association with sponsors and supporters.
Absolutely. I've been very lucky in my life since a very early age to have great people behind me. I've had a long-term relationship with Mr. Harrison and the Double H horses. We took a small hiatus and went in different directions, and it's like a marriage we've come back to and really starting to produce some exciting results, and excited about the future.
Well, the horse we saw last year winning in Antwerp was Rothschild, and again coming out going well. What's next for Bongo?
Yeah, Bongo, as he's affectionately been known as. We started the season a little slow. We gave him a long rest. He had a great year last year. He's been in good form, two-time second in the $2 million Grand Prix in North Florida and in Thermal. This is his first major stop of the year, and then on to the World Cup Finals.
And in terms of the year so far, I mean, what are going to be the big focus this year? Last year it was the World Equestrian Games where you won bronze medal, so that was achievement. You know, mission accomplished from that point of view. What's this year?
Well, yes, last year was a great year. Rothschild just couldn't have performed better at the World Championships, and he had some other great victories. This year we really aimed at the $1 million Grand Prix. We're going to aim at several Longines Global Tour events, and obviously I think the big event on everybody's calendar this year is the World Cup Finals in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. I mean, we've also seen you with a new horse in the last few weeks, HH Azure, which looks very nice indeed.
Yeah, it's a horse we're very excited about, owned by Francois Matty and Hunter Harrison in partnership. And you know, for me, it's a really exciting horse. I think the horse has all the potential and a great mind, and to have those two men who have been such an influence in my life to own her at this point in my career, it's something that emotionally is very special to me.
Well, turning to the wider influence, looking at the sport here as a whole, I mean, there's some changes coming here in the US, isn't there? And this is one of them, this event here.
Well, it's really growing, and by leaps and bounds. I mean, the sport in general is just growing exponentially throughout the world. It's becoming so global, and different interests from all the corners. And to see it at this level in the United States, the level of the sport, the level of the prize money, the level of the enthusiasm, the crowds getting behind it, it's really exciting for the future of our sport. And I'm glad that I'm healthy and have great support that I can enjoy and participate and try to be at my best.
Well, there's plenty of horsepower around us as well here from that point of view. And talking of horsepower, I mean, we can't not mention the great Sapphire. I mean, sum that horse up for me.
You know, that's a career horse, and more than that, that horse is my friend. You know, she was. I told my wife once. I said, "That's the wife, and you're the mistress." You know, maybe that's changed a little now. But Sapphire, you know, for the better part of a decade, was a stalwart of the sport. Always predictable and consistent in the biggest moments. We miss her a great deal, but really feel blessed that we have this horse in our lives, and you know, we use that as a standard we judge everything else by.
Well, your wife is now a mother as well. You've recently become a father. How's that changing the perspective?
It's incredible. I mean, we have a baby girl, Lily. She's 7 weeks old this week, and my wife has been incredible. And you know, it's the wonderment of life to have a child. So it's been an incredible experience for us. You know, day to day in what I do in my sport, I'm the same guy I always am. But certainly when you go home after a day that didn't go quite as you wanted, or a day that went great and you want to celebrate, you really see the meaning of life, you know.
And how do you celebrate the end of a good day, or even deal with a bad day?
Well, I deal with the good days better than the bad days. You know, I enjoy my family. I love what I do for a living. I'm at a point in my life where I really appreciate all the things that have come my way, personally and professionally, and take a lot of pride in a job well done, and of trying to learn a little perspective when I don't do the job quite as well, and rebound, and like I said, to come home to my little girl and my beautiful wife doesn't get much better than that.
And how do you think your perspective has changed? I mean, you've been at the top for a good while now, and as you say, you can become a little bit more relaxed in terms of life is happy now. I mean, the hunger, does that change?
I don't think it does. I think when the hunger goes away, you need to maybe reconsider what exactly you're doing. I have a great life. I'm blessed, and I try not to lose the appreciation for that. But there's still, every day I look at the list of things I haven't done yet, not the things that have been checked off professionally. Yeah. And, I'm still driven, and I have some really excited people behind me who have been with me through thick and thin, and I appreciate that. And I think we have a few big and good days to come.
Well, from your point of view, I mean, going back to your riding style, it's a very classical, great to watch riding style, and a great model from that. What have been the influences from you to get to that stage?
Well, I had great teachers. I mean, right off the bat, both of my parents were professionals. My father was a very successful Grand Prix rider, and I owe most of what I am as a rider and anything associated with horses to him. I mean, he was a great influence and still is to this day. He's gone now, but I think about my father and everything I do in the sport. And my mother also. And then I was lucky enough, because we were in the horse jumping industry, to have the experiences of people like Francois Metti, Paul Schockmuller, Albert Vorn, Paul Valliere, and the list goes on and on. These are the people I grew up with. The sport at this level was my school, and the education was phenomenal. And as every year you get a little older, you realize that more and more. Maybe at the time you took a little bit for granted.
I know last year out in the States, I mean, Scott Brash came and competed out here before heading to the Longines Global Champions Tour. You were noted as saying he's one of the guys you went and watched.
Absolutely. I think you can never stop learning, and particularly as younger, new people come along, they bring an energy and a competitiveness to the game that you have to be careful not to become complacent and let them take over. I had a great Florida this year, and I said, oh, thank God Scott wasn't there. But it's people like that drive you at the end of the day. I want to be the best I can be, and I want to win, and I want to win when they're there.
I was going to say, what still gets the heart burning? What's the one that really you have the desire to go in? Do you still have that fire when you go in the ring?
Oh, absolutely. And I have a great mechanism that kicks in. It doesn't matter what the situation is. When I came in the ring, I think I can win. And that's a wonderful thing. That belief, carries you a long way. And like I said, there's some goals on my radar that really I think about every day and try to work towards.
Do you ever look at other sports and look at the influences there and take anything from that?
Absolutely. I think we have a lot of similarities with golf, with race car driving. The mental game is the same. A comparison with race car driving is we're dealing with a living being, but you're dealing with another entity, and you can be brilliant and the car not run so well today. You can be brilliant and the horse not have a great day, or vice versa. And that's something that takes a lot of mental control. I use a great sports psychologist, Bob Rattel, that's helped me a tremendous amount. And like all sports, we're looking for every inch to improve, every way to get better. And I think that's been something you see across the board in every sport in the world now. And
getting into the head of McLain Ward, I mean, what have you done that you think has changed that psychologically? What has been one of the key influences there? What do you think one that's really opened things up for you?
Well, I think really trying to stay in the present. You can't control a lot of the outside problems. You can't control the weather. You can't control when things aren't going quite right. When you're winning and you're in the zone, it's easy. When it's difficult is when things aren't going your way or the conditions aren't great. They say in golf, and you hit a perfect drive and it rolls off the fairway because the wind's blowing left to right. These are things that we can't focus on, and they're distractions. And I think in the last few years I've gotten much better at that. It's not something I've perfected, but it's something I work at every day, and I think the results have shown.
And from you, I mean, you're very much a person that's passionate about the sport as a whole. I mean, what are the things that you'd like to see change, or do you see where the sport's going?
Well, the growth of the sport, and it's going there. I mean, it's in the last 5 and 10 years, with the influence of tours like the Global Tour and the public audience that's come in, it's really exciting. I mean, we're becoming a mainstream sport through most of the world, and it's great to be part of that. And I'm very happy that it's happened within my career. Luckily, show jumper has a mildly lengthy career, and I hope to enjoy the benefits of that work. And it's been great efforts on a lot of people's part, and it's a really exciting time.
And who do you see? I mean, there's a whole group of young US riders. I mean, Lucy Davis was on the team with you last year. There's a whole next generation already knocking on the door.
Absolutely, and there are really some exciting riders coming along, and another group just behind them who we haven't even seen yet. But Ian Miller at 65 jumped a beautiful clear round again yesterday, so it was pretty remarkable. The old guys are still doing it pretty well as well. So it's pretty amazing that way. Men and women compete equally together. The diversity in age. There's so many facets to what makes a successful show jumper that I think it's really interesting to a pretty diverse group of people.
And if you could pick one thing that you still want to achieve, whether in equestrian or not, what was the one thing you'd love still to do in life?
I think in the sport, I have two goals. I'd like to win a major championships individually, and I want to win the Aachen Grand Prix. Since I was a little kid, for me, that's the mecca of show jumping and something I really dream about every day. In life, it's a journey. I hope I do a good job raising my daughter and have a great family life. And, I hope somewhere along the way in one way or another can pass along a little bit of the benefit that I've received to people coming up, whether they go into the horse game or they go somewhere else. I've been so lucky and so supported that I certainly would love to be in a position where I can do the same for some others.
Well, we're going to continue along our journey in this wonderful vehicle as well. So, McLain, thank you very, very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll enjoy the rest of the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Miami Beach.